Shane Van Gisbergen starts the pole car. Garth Tander starts the Mount Panorama on the outside of the front row. Warren Luff will start the Objective Racing McLaren that starts from P3. Marco Mappelli, the fiery Italian, will start the second Jamek Audi from 4th place.
Side by side through the Caltex chase as they come down towards Murray Meguiar's for the proper start, if you will. We are under already 55 to go, 11 hours and 55 and 34 to go, side by side. The headlights tell everyone down here on the Meguiar start-finish line that the race is about to get underway proper. It's a great side-by-side start. The green flag is out, and we are racing now. A little bit of overlapping further back down the field, but that's all right. That's a rule that's changed this year, as long as you don't make position before the line. And we are underway with the home field streaming through Hell Corner for the first time. And Van Gisbergen's got a decent start from pole position up Mountain Straight. That is just a wonderful, wonderful sight and sound. And those of you on the mountain, stand by. They're heading your way at 140 to 150k already.
One of the great sights in Australian motorsport, that still side by side. They need to sort themselves out through Griffin's Bend.
Spin, and it's the Maggie's car. The 88 has gone around right in the middle of the pack. Oh, that's one of the favourites in this carnage down there. It'll check up everybody in the midfield. It looks like it was just a lazy spin. Mika Salo started the 88 Ferrari and he's gone around. Looked like he might have got a little help there. No problems for the leaders, and that's why you want to qualify up the field.
Worst nightmare for the start of this race. 2x2 on the run up to Griffin's Bend. So challenging to get yourself sorted, and when you're on the outside there, you're often quite helpless. Cross the top for the first time. 200 k's an hour in the darkness. They'll be driving into the sunrise very, very soon. About 6:30 a.m. local time, the sun will start to pop up over the Blue Mountains and over Sydney town. Waving yellows for the drama at turn 2 at the moment, but they should clear that Maranello Ferrari. It looked like Mika could get that car turned around. And Salo's still stuck.
Yeah, he didn't get it turned back around. The engine is still running, that's the good news. Now, can we deal with that with local yellows? Or we're going to see an early deployment of the AMG safety car. The guys are still racing down Conrod towards the Caltex chase, right in front of the Riches Hotel.
It's been a really rough start for Maranello. They've struggled for pace all weekend long and qualified outside the top 15. Thought they had a very good race package with consistency and fuel economy, and now they're going to have to do it from last place. It's been done from here before, and it's still really, really busy. Rick Kelly fighting for track position with one of the McLarens, but it's Shane Van Gisbergen who leads the opening racing lap of the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12-hour. Marco Mappelli is up to second place in the 74 Jamek Audi in front of Garth Tander. Rob Bell up to 4th place in the number 60 McLaren, so net gain for the second of the Techno Autosport cars. Maro Engel has stormed his way up from 11th place on the grid to 5th on the opening lap, and there's racing. It's wheeling early up to turn 2.
Don't make any plans for the rest of your day, wherever you are in the world. Live and free, trackside at the mountain. The 2017 Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 hours with our AMG pace car as was. If we see it again, it will be the safety car now in the pit lane, and the front row coming round to start this motor race. Tony Vilander has it all on his shoulders on the inside of the Ferrari. You can barely see it, but it's got the white lights. The BMW on the outside of the front row has the yellow headlights. It's a long hold, a long hold. And Vilander on the brakes early, trying to get some heat into the parts as he goes to Virgin Australia Corner. He's got a great start. Pulls out in front of the BMW. The field straight through. What a sight as they head on the Audi Mountain Straight for the first time, and Vilander's got the jump. All kinds of passing going on in the midfield, but the man who took the Alan Simonson Pole Trophy yesterday has done the first part of the job and got away cleanly.
Yeah, perfect start for the Ferrari. Everyone very, very cautious into turn 1. This will be the next danger zone. Up into turn 2 at Griffin's Bend at the top of Mountain Straight. They need to give each other racing room. The sparks are flying in the midfield, but everyone just with the fingertips as lightly as they can, feeling their way around Mount Panorama as they head up to the Audi cutting for the first time. to help you spot the cars, the yellow headlights of the Martin GT BMW with Chaz Mostert behind the wheel. So the Ferrari's in front, the BMW in second place. Good start for Mostert, but Vilander led the field through turn one for the first time.
And a very sensible start. So maybe they were listening in the driver's briefing yesterday, because everyone has filtered into line as they go over the top of the mountain for the first time. Is there a better sight in motorsport than that at this time of the year? And the sun just beginning to light up the sky in the far distance as they go down to the spares box tipper.
Good start, Maxime Soulé. He's in the Bentley, and he's just got a little bit of ground up from 5th to 4th place. George Meedick in the Aston Martin slipping back one spot, so the Bentley climbs up +1 early in this motor race. They've been really strong, really relentless throughout this weekend, and qualified strongly inside the top 10. Down Conrad Straight.
I think the thing is here, Grillsy and Graham, that you've got to be a little bit pragmatic at the start of this race. And here's Chio. What am I talking about? Chio already at 23, actually, that's the Al Buncombe starting that car. My apologies. As he heads down through the chase, the Caltex chase, and through into the right-hander that will take him under the Liquimolly Bridge and down towards Meguiar Murray's Corner to complete the first racing lap. I was talking about being pragmatic. If you lose a position now, it's not probably the smartest thing to fight too hard. It's about battles and wars, Graham.
Absolutely, and there are drivers on the move here, John. Very quick text times coming in from some of the cars that didn't feature in that top 10. Mara Engel is getting down to some quick lappery at the moment. He's not moved up yet, but right on the tail of the car in front.
That's the 22 that we're talking about in 15th position. 14th position now is there. Settle them. Already a bit of impatience here, headlights flashing, that's never a good thing, and down the inside, fantastic move from Bentley number 8, and Maxime Soulé is clearly not following what I think is the right tactics here. That's why he's here, and I'm in the booth.
What won't be looked on favourably there, John, is Stephen Richards moving him across the road, blocking allowed on lap 1 and the final lap of the race, and that is it. It's too early to defend your position in a 12-hour motor race.
And that again was something that came up in the driver's briefing yesterday, Krillsy. You are not allowed to move in reaction to someone behind you, and moving people over towards the grass on Audi Mountain Straight and coming down Conrad, frowned upon.
We said at the very start of the week, didn't we, that Bentley were probably the hungriest team here, and Maxime Soulé looked like he was starving there, didn't he? Munched up cheese. Steve Richards up the inside. We're going to have a look at it now. People are flashing the headlights.
You know what? I think Steve Richards was all right there. That's on the boundaries. He was in the middle of the road, held his line. There was enough room for a Bentley to go through, but just enough room for a Bentley.
So,
look how dark it is on the top, man.
In the Ferrari, leads the race. The margin's just half a second to Chaz Mostert. It's then the Bentley of Maxime Soulé.
Oh, no.
This is the Racer Industries Invitational Class BMW 335i. This is a car that, back in the production car days in 2007 and 2010, won the race outright. And that looks to be the first car pushed into a garage. Rolling start for this motor race. They'll grid up 2 by 2 behind the Mercedes AMG safety car. And then they'll get the green flag and lights on the Liquimolly front straight. And for 12 hours in 2018, Australia's international endurance race will commence.
White, bright headlights bringing the field down through Meguiar's and down towards a green flag, which is waving, and we are now under green flag conditions as we start the second lap. Just under 11 hours and 55 minutes to go. It's absolutely side by side, and the pole sitting BMW is going to have to tough it out on the inside, and does so. So that worked, at least for the pole sitter. Everybody through Porsche, corner, and heading up the Audi Mountain Straight towards Griffin's Bend for the first time. What a fantastic sight and sound. It's sensual overload on the mountain.
It's the most perilous lap of the entire motor race. It's dark. They've never driven in the night before this point in the motor race. So they're feeling their way around. They're still 2 by 2 as they run up to Griffin's Bend. Now they start to reach single file, which they need to do before they get to the Audi cutting. On-board pictures throughout the field today. This is a Mercedes AMG GT3 as it runs up the hill. Audi in front, looking to the outside. Bold manoeuvre early in the motor race.
David Reynolds trying to get round up the Audi, cutting, and pushing his luck just a little bit there. Green flags waving around the circuit. So oh, was that a yellow?
That was a safety car. We're showing yellow on the timing monitor and safety car boards and flags. So the race has been neutralised almost immediately.
Oh dear, someone has dropped it early on in the lap, and the Mercedes-AMG E63 S sedan with its 4-litre V8 bi-turbo engine will be out on the circuit. That car is no slouch itself, and my goodness, it sounds fantastic. But after all that adrenaline, all that build-up, all that excitement and expectation, we're under our first yellow at the 2018 Le Mans Bathurst 12 hours.
Now, we're just waiting on word from race control as to why we're under caution. So,
is this perhaps an intervention from the local wildlife? It wouldn't be the first time. Race control checking their monitors as well. But the drivers have seen the boards. There's no racing going on. It's almost a little bit of a worry, isn't it, in these early stages with everybody revved up, that the front of the field backs off a little bit. So they're on Conrod for the second time. Remember, that opening installation lap, familiarisation lap, was part of the race, but we've not yet had a full lap under green.
interestingly enough, I think there'll be some combinations that breathe a sigh of relief with this. It'll just settle the field down. One of them will be the number 100 BMW with Timo Glock behind the wheel. He's up to 44th already in about 3 corners.
Well, of course, we come back, Johnny Palmer, as the classic shot coming down through into the Boost Mobile chase with the headlights. It's just one of my favourite things to see at this time in the morning. We restart single file, so that's even better news for our pole sitter, Chad Mostert.
Yeah, so automatically it should be a little quieter and easier to get the cars through the first corner, you might say. I thought they'd done splendidly well on the first lap, I have to say. David Reynolds was a little bit brave into the Audi cutting on the first lap to draw alongside several cars, but otherwise it was tippy-toe stuff, but everyone was giving each other room. The last thing you want is a massive drama on the first lap, but now it's a BMW
96.
possibly.
It's the John Goodacre-owned Mark Cars Australia entry, and it is the South Australian John behind the wheel, very experienced driver in one-make Porsche racing. And though the clock has begun to tick, they go motor racing when they exit Meguiar's corner. And it's Maximilian Buch, a runner-up in this race in 2014 for Mercedes-AMG, who'll lead the field to green. Lucas Stoll's alongside. Stephen Kane in the Bentley from third. That's their best ever starting position. Bathurst 1000 winner Luke Youlden from fourth. Fred Vervish in the Audi and Dirk Werner in the Porsche next. That's the top 6, all experienced at Mount Panorama.
We know that that 999 car can get heat in its tyres quickly. We know that the Audi struggle a little bit. The green flag is in the air. And the 2019 Le Mans 12 hours at Bathurst is underway. The pole sitter in that bright yellow 999 gets the inside road into Icebreak Hell corner and heads up Mountain Straight for the first time. Stephen Kane in third in the Bentley, still sitting in there, but he didn't get the great start. He's having to defend early on. Do everybody else get through the first corner? Yes, that's a really nice start, but now you've got to knuckle down immediately, and from going round behind the E63 safety car, now it gets real. Now you're up to pace for the first time through destination New South Wales Griffin corner as they head up towards the Audi cutting for the first time.
2x2 through there. It's a hold your breath moment because you just don't know who's going to come out the other side, but they've done a really nice job. Some heads-up driving. Race control's been beating it into them throughout the weekend. Big moment around the outside of the Audi Sport cutting. They're still 2x2, still sorting themselves out as they get to Reed Park. And now they take a breath and settle in for the roller coaster ride across the massive crowd that's on the top of Mount Panorama and heading towards the sunrise.
Is there any better sight in motorsport? Is there any better way to wake up than the sound of 38 racing cars screaming across the top of the mountain? The sun will come up in about 45 minutes, but for now, we've got this brilliant darkness racing, and there's gaps appearing in the field, Johnny.
Awesome crowd at Skyline as well. That's the place you'd pick out, I think, to watch the first lap, and it's bunching up nicely at the head of the order as Lucas Stoltz is turning the screw in the early stages. Mercedes versus Mercedes then, and as you quite rightly say, it's Stephen Kane's Bentley car 107 who's in third position, but 3 Benzes now in the top 4, and Dirk Werner, the first of the Porsches, the 912 car in the Earl Bamber Motorsport machine.
Coming down to the end of the first green flag lap, but we've already almost done 9 minutes of racing. Remember, the clock started when the Mercedes E63 safety car rolled off the grid. It's been a pretty steady start so far. Everybody's playing nicely together. Can't imagine that's going to last too long. And Maxi Book in the 999 will be credited with the first racing lap led here in the 2019 Liquid Moly Bathurst 12 hours. Heart rates being controlled, I would think, from the drivers, but even the pros get excited at this stage. Beautiful side-by-side start. The green flag is in the air, and we are racing in the 2020 Liquid Moly Bathurst 12 hours. Took a little time to get underway. 3 wide down the front straight. What a move from the second row all the way to the front. That's the Aston Martin, the Castrol car going wide at Hell Corner for the first time.
Maxi Book, amazing launch from the second row of the grid. They went 3 wide to turn 1, but it's not done yet. Here's the Porsche. It's Patrick Pillay behind the wheel, and they're side by side up Mountain Straight. The young German who was a runner-up here in 2014, aggressive from the start. He'll have the ideal line into turn 2 at Griffin's Bend, and Mercedes AMG leads them up the hill for the first time.
Side by side behind as well, with the Nissan getting pushed wide as they head up through the cutting. The first vestiges of light in the sky to the east as they stream through the Audi cutting for the first time.
Up Mountain Straight. Not only can Ben Barnicoat not see anything because it's dark, because he was right on the boot lid of Maxi Boot, but almost ran the outside came Alex Imperatori in the big Nissan, which has so much grunt up that incline to start the lap. So still 4th position for Imperatori, but a cracking getaway from Maxi Boot.
Sparks flying across the top of the mountain for the first time. That's where the crowd are at the moment. All the phones are out, all the cameras are out. 888 going down through the dipper for the first time, grounding out. The cars are heavy. The Pirelli tyres will not be up to temperature or pressure. This is new ground for everybody right now, Crailsey. Heavy car and tyres not up to temp. We've not seen track and ambient temperatures this low all week.
Having said that, it's almost 30 degrees at almost 6 a.m. in the morning, so it is an absolute scorcher. The brake rotors on Maxi Book's Group M Racing AMG were glowing at turn 1. What a shot at the chase. Fastest corner in the sport. 1 lap down. Possibly, maybe more than 300 to go. And it'll be Mercedes AMG. A great start for the German. A champion of GT3 racing around the world. He leads Patrick Pillay in the Porsche. The margin officially 1 second. Ben Barnicoat from McLaren 3rd. Imperatori in the KCMG Nissan is 4th. Craig Lowndes, the Bathurst champion, 9 victories at this location across the 2 majors. He's 5th. The first Bathurst 12 hour was held in 1991. This is the 20th edition of a 12-hour endurance race at Mount Panorama. And after a tough couple of years, the world is back. And the Liqui Moly Bathurst 12 hour fires into life on a stunning Sunday morning at Mount Panorama.
A lot of that going on over the next 10 to 15 minutes when these cars, brake rotors start to light up. You'll see the cars bottoming out as the tyre pressures come up to temperature. The car ride height is very, very low. You look, they're weaving as they make their way up Mountain Straight, continuing to try and build tyre temperature before they have their first run across the top of the mountain.
Witnessing the guys in the late teens and the early 20s coming across the line off the back of the safety car, 10, 15, 20 seconds quicker on that second safety car lap than the guys at the front of the field. So they're working their Pirelli rubber really hard early on. The guys at the front already heading up to the cutting for the first time. That's art, isn't it? That is motor racing as art at the Audi cutting.
I swear this is the best hour of motorsport Australia gets over the course of the year. BP Ultimate Park. And then in front of a massive crowd to the top as they head towards McPhillamy and Brock Skyline.
Right here as a driver, you don't know what you've got. The first time you're seeing your car across the top of the mountain with low tyre pressure, low tyre temp, low grip from the circuit in these cool conditions, you have no idea what you have. So you have to play super conservatively. You can see no one really stepping out of line. Everyone following line astern as the tyre temperature builds. And after after we get this lap in the books, second, third lap, then those that have qualified out of position will start to tighten the belts and start to go forward, use any opportunity that comes their way. But the experience of Maro Engel, Maxi Goetz, Thomas Preining, Lucas Stoltz, all these guys more than comfortable in these conditions.
I think it's interesting you mentioned that, Garth. I mean, the teams will have had a word with their drivers, and there's absolutely no sense in doing a do-or-die manoeuvre at this stage when you've got 11 hours and 50 minutes still to go. But racing drivers are racing drivers, aren't they? Oh, little bit of weaving. He's put the hammer down, coming down to the final corner at Murray's, and he's got a decent gap here. He'll see the green flag as he comes through, and that's a super start for the pole sitter as he goes through. Meguiar caught a little bit napping there, and it's what, 8-10 car lengths as they head up Mountain Straight for the first time.
So we're green, finally on Mount Panorama with 11 hours and 49 minutes to go. Sheldon van der Linde starting the BMW, Mick Grenier starting the National Storage Racing Mercedes-AMG. Maro Engel is behind the wheel of car 130. Laurent Vantel, the Belgian, back in car 912. Lucas Stoltz starting car 75, the defending champions 2 times over. First of the Audis is Ricardo Feller, Sheldon van der Linde.
And until those tyre temperatures get up, Garth Tander, they're going to have to be really careful at pretty much right across the top, because that affects ride height as well as grip.
Yeah, you can hear the cars bottoming as they made their way into the cutting, and they'll bottom even more now as they make their way across the top of the mountain. Van der Linde with just over a second lead over Grenier, and it was a great start, restart, or start, however you want to call it, for Van der Linde. And the reason you want to get up the road a little bit is because you don't want those headlights flashing in the rear vision mirror and annoying you for this first run across the top of the mountain. You can just focus on those tyre pressures, see what sort of car balance you have, see where you have gone with your tyre prep so you know how much grip you have, and focus on making your way across the top of the mountain nicely this first time of what will be many, many tours around Mount Panorama.
The other thing with the start of this race is that this first hour, as challenging as the conditions could be from a visibility standpoint, it's often the best conditions the cars are going to get to produce some performance. Sure beats an espresso shot, that.
Good morning, Bathurst. Here is your alarm call from the Pirelli Speed Cab. The sights and sounds of the 2024 Repco Bathurst 12 hours getting underway. I don't dislike, actually, a single file start. It's a little less exciting down in the Hell Corner the first time, Garth, but it gives all the drivers a chance just to, if you like, to play themselves in. I think that's the first overtake we've seen at Turn 1 Held Corner, and it's come effectively on the second green flag now.